early and often.
Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd like to join us, please stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we again thank you for the day that you've granted unto us today. And Lord, we look to you for the events of this evening. We thank you again for sparing us with the last big storm that came through, and your grace there and mercy have been amazing. Thank you for this city. Thank you for its employees. We pray for them, their protection, their blessing. Just be with their families as well. We pray for our first responders, especially with the events coming up this month with graduations and all. God, may you just be with all the first responders and keep everything in hand, under control. We pray for our schools and the graduations coming up. Just may they flow smoothly and be a blessing. And Lord, we pray for the meeting this evening. Just be here among us and give the commissioners wisdom with decisions they need to make. Anyone presenting before the commission this evening, may they just have clarity. And we give you thanks for all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, additions or deletions to the agenda, and I have an addition to the new business. I have a resolution that the commission is in support of the South Central Hospital. And just under number 4 under new business. Okay. Are there any other additions or deletions?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Mayor, I move we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Tweedy and seconded by Commissioner Warren to approve the agenda. If there's any more discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, we'll have recognition of visitors. City Cali County Health Department Annual Report.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening. Evening, sir.
Commissioners, for those of you who do not know who I am, I'm Tom Langer. I am the administrator of the City Cali County Health Department and the public health officer here in Cali County. This evening, I have the distinct honor to provide to you the 2015 annual report of activities of the joint City Cali County Health Department. This report provides you a snapshot of our activities and achievements during the past year. It reveals that the health department is a dynamic organization that operates in a fiscally reasonable fashion. In a time of diminishing resources, we were able to adjust our operational model and gain efficiency through service expansion and expense reduction. We were able to serve Cali County through more than 35,000 client service provisions. We served young and old alike, always with a smile and some compassion. Our stated simple mission is to prevent infectious and chronic diseases, promote health and healthy lifestyles that can reduce the need for expensive tertiary health care, and to protect the residents of our county from harmful naturally occurring or man-made threats that are prevalent in our environment. That is why when we communicate, you will hear us repeat 3 words: prevent, promote, and protect, as we go about our population health business of primary and secondary prevention. Primary prevention is accomplished by seeking modifications in unhealthy behavior or by increasing the number of people who are protected from disease through vaccination. Secondary prevention is accomplished through the advancement of health screenings where disease risk factors can be identified and dealt with prior to them becoming symptomatic and disabling. Why is this important in Cowley County? In Cowley County, heart disease, cancer, and respiratory disease are the 3 leading causes of death. In our county, we also face a large number of accidents and traffic-related injuries that are the 2 leading causes of death that are not health-related. Our local governments, Cowley County and the cities of Arkansas City and Winfield, contributed $374,500 to public health last year, which is a total of $10.47 per resident. Those monies were leveraged by the health department to obtain an additional $362,000 of state-based funding. When we combined our Cowley County reimbursements from insurers and other program fees that we collected, it provided us a combined total of $1.1 million, which formed our operating budget. This money was used directly to help county residents of all ages and ethnicities, and it is estimated that the return to Cowley County in the form of goods, services bought, and to the benefits of good health, that the amount we received back equaled approximately $4.6 million. One program alone that the health department administrates contributed direct assistance to county residents, equaling more than $800,000. And that money was directly spent in our local grocery stores to provide healthy nutrition for families, as well as supporting our local economies. Our annual report touches upon the activities we engage in to reduce our 38% obesity rate, our 21% smoking rate, and our 11% diagnosed diabetes rate. It also shows how we engage our community to promote safety for adults and children, especially while driving. The challenge of working in preventative medicine is proving that what we have done has made a difference. That is why we track and document, and that is why we monitor and prepare. I, along with my fellow public health professionals here in the county, are very passionate about making a difference and improving health in our communities. I am blessed to have a supportive Board of Health, a knowledge and compassionate staff, and the support of local elected commissions. I hope that you can take time to review this report in the next few days and share with me the sense of accomplishment for what we have done in 2015, while understanding that we will never stand still, but always be looking for ways to engage our neighbors and assist them in getting and remaining healthy. We truly seek to prevent, promote, and protect. And with that, again, I thank you for your time this evening, and I would gladly accept any questions about this report or anything that's happening at the health department at this time.
How many patients do you see a year through your clinic?
The 30-some thousand distinct visits breaks down into the 2 locations.
Okay.
We do approximately 20,000 interactions in Winfield and the balance here in Ark City. Now, what does that mean as far as the number of individual clients that come see us? Sometimes we will see people, of course, more than once in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're counting in that, of course, families where you have multiple people. On average, we'll see over 10,000 residents combined every year.
Why is it you see more up there in Winfield than you do down here?
I think it's simply the logistics and the location. When you take a look, and we've taken a look at who utilizes the services, we'll see individuals that will frequent the Ark City office are located in this part of the county. So it's basically an ease of access issue.
Okay.
Some people just, it's easier for them to come to our office here. Others from the northern part of the county, it's easier for them to travel down to Winfield. And so that's where you see the distinction.
I noticed on the budget, the amount of local funding is very similar to the amount of state-based. Is that a matching, or is that just happens
Very
to be
much
that
so,
way?
Commissioner. A lot of times we have to provide what's known as maintenance of effort. For us to qualify for matching funding, we have to show that the community is vested in public health. If that drops, then of course, what we'd be able to leverage or how we would be able to do that would also drop. It is an absolute mandate to us from the state for some programs that the county must maintain. The county must maintain adequate funding for public health. That is why each year when we go ahead and we present our budgets, we take a look at what the communities do, and it's all taxpayer supported. There's the portion that comes from the cities, which is approximately 1.5% from each city of what our total overall funding is. That goes into basically 1/3 or about 32-33% of total taxpayer funding. So that gives you an idea of how it's balanced. And then we see about another 31%, 32% state funding. And the balance then is made up from what we can reclaim from private pay insurance companies, Medicaid, and fees that we might collect for services.
There's no federal funding in this program?
I beg your pardon?
There's no federal funding, it's all state?
Federal funding is always passed through, Commissioner. The money that comes down from HHS or Department of Homeland Security for certain provisions that reach into the public health realm
Mhm.
are funneled through your state agency.
Okay.
So the state health department is kind of the intermediary for that.
Will you be seeing any reduction in funding this year or
That
next
is-
year?
That is yet to be determined,
Okay.
Commissioner.
We don't know, do we?
If you call me up about the 15th of June, I'll tell you exactly where we are.
Hmm.
I can tell you this, we've applied, again, we had to apply in March. We've asked for just continued funding, just same level. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't read the press and we don't understand the situation that all of our jurisdictions are in. So, regardless, we will press forward. We will provide the best service that we possibly can to the residents of this county.
Do you have problems with CanCare being slow pay? That's something I've heard from a lot of physicians and medical.
I think there are a lot of challenges in that realm, and yes, there are a lot of reasons why payment seems to come slowly. We have addressed that by making sure on the front end of our service provision, we have raised the quality level of our performance so that we know exactly if the patient is in fact covered, what they're covered for, and then that we use the appropriate billing codes. Any one of these small variances in process or procedure can cause a delay. And a lot of times, how you handle your back office is as important as how you handle front in being able to be paid promptly. If you do all of those things, the providers, the MCOs are paying. But sometimes you have to be persistent, and you have to pay especially fine. You have to look at the details very carefully and make sure there isn't anything that you missed, because the devil is in those details.
Right.
So
Right.
What is the turnaround in that? 30, 60, 90 days or 100?
we have a requirement to submit rapidly,
Uh-huh.
so that if we're not being paid by the managed care organizations within 30 to 60 days, there's a problem. So they can bounce something back to us, and then we have to respond quickly, and we do. So, but if you're not managing that portion of your medical business properly, say if you're understaffed or you don't stay up on the billing codes and what you can and cannot charge for, those things can get away from you in a hurry.
Or do you get 100% of what you?
No, sir. We will bill a set amount,
Yeah.
a provision amount, and then we accept, of course, what the MCOs or Medicaid would pay. The rest of it goes to what we call provider write-off. Those dollars are actually part of what is absorbed when you consider our base funding that comes from. Now, does that mean that we're operating in the red? No, because we adjust what we spend based upon what we know we're going to earn.
Okay.
So if say for example over the course of the year we might need to reduce by $25,000 what we would normally have received. It's just not realized as income on our books. We don't recognize income until we actually have it in hand. It is considered at that point in time the service to the community that the health department provides through, of course, our taxpayer base.
Wow.
Any other questions? Thank you,
Very
sir.
good. I'm just going to make one footnote. I've been down here for 9 months, and I feel I owe you all an apology for not coming in and introducing myself sooner than this, but I saved the best for last. and I thank you again, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay. Are there any audience comments of items that are not on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to awards and proclamations. I guess I need to get down front. Do we have anybody here from for public service?
Yeah, I want Marla McFarland, Kathy Cornwell, and both the chiefs and any other city employee to come up.
Good.
That includes you, Andrew. I'll take the photo. Now you gotta come up front. You gotta come up front.
Just right now.
Richard, get up here.
Is Dwayne grab the mic?
Yeah.
Whereas Americans are served every single day by public servants at the federal, state, county, and city levels, these unsung heroes do the work that keeps our nation working. And public employees take not only jobs but oaths. And many public servants, including military personnel, police officers, firefighters, border patrol officers, embassy employees, healthcare professionals, and others, risk their lives each day in service to the people of the United States and around the world. And public servants include teachers, doctors and scientists, train conductors and astronauts, nurses and safety inspectors, laborers, computer technicians, and social workers, and countless other occupations. Day in and day out, they provide the diverse services demanded by the American people of their government with efficiency and integrity. And whereas without these public servants at every level, continuity would be impossible in a democracy that regularly changes its leaders and elected officials. Now therefore, I, Dwayne Eastman, Mayor of the City of Arkansas City, do hereby proclaim May 1st through May 7th, 2016 as Public Service Recognition Week in Arkansas City, and encourage all citizens to recognize the accomplishments and contribution of government employees at all levels, federal, state, county, and city. Congratulations. You do a good job. Without you, the city wouldn't work, actually. Thank you.
I get paid for living.
Thank you. Okay, the next one, we have a couple of ladies here that are the music of Arkansas City. Would you come up, please?
This is 50% of babies are single mothers.
Oh, wow.
And it's still,
I can probably give you this one.
that's crazy.
Oh, their services though, that they provide probably.
Arkansas City, Kansas. Whereas music plays an increasingly important role in our world today, and music is one of the most sublime of human pursuits and is subscribed to by all races and creeds. And music is the language of all peoples and one of the greatest forces in creating peace and harmony. And whereas the National Federation of Music Clubs, dedicated to encouraging young musicians in increasing musical knowledge and to advancing American music, and its cooperating organizations joined forces to direct attention to the dynamic influence of music in everyday living. Now, therefore, I, Dwayne Eastman, Mayor of the City of Arkansas City, do hereby proclaim May 1st through May 8th, 2016 as National Music Week in Arkansas City, and ask that all citizens of this community observe and take part in activities recognizing the importance of music, musicians, and musical organizations to the cultural life of our city, state, nation, and world, and recognizing this year's theme of music, Notes to the Future. Do you have a few words? Okay.
I always do. This is Darlene Patterson, and she's the first vice president of our organization. And I'm Sherry Baxter, the president of the Arkansas City Music and Dramatics Club. And we were organized and federated in April of 1922. So we've been going quite a while. And we meet on the third Friday of the month at 1:30 at the Methodist Church from September through May. And you don't have to sing to belong. Just come and enjoy the music, because we do need a crowd to listen to us. And we have a concert that we do through in December out at the Methodist Church. We put on a program, a Christmas program, and it's free for the public to come and see, and it'll be in the paper when it's time. And then in the spring, we usually put on a concert, and a couple of weeks ago we just had one at the Brown Center that was the piano. And we do charge for that one. And the money that we get from that goes to our scholarship recipients that we have from the junior college. So we do try to help the young and everything. So, and since if you go to Graves, go to the north end of the window, and you'll see a display that some of the grade school kids have done posters and stuff. And then there's one little display at the public library. And then she and I are both part of the music club chorus, and we are going to be singing at several places. So keep the music going. When words fail, music keeps on going. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. You want to do it, Andrew, or you want me to?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Approve the April 5, 2016 revised regular meeting and April 19, 2016 regular meeting minutes. Approve personnel policy updates, personnel policies, Americans with Disabilities, discrimination, harassment, retaliation, and immigration law compliance. Ratify Mayor Eastman's appointments of Brian Mayfield and Leonard Mumford to the Building Trades Advisory Board. And ratify Mayor Eastman's reappointments of Carl Mills to the Board of Zoning Appeals, Mark Bartlett, Dave Billings, Mike Hamill, and Brian Lawrence to the Building Trades Advisory Board. Ruben Garcia and Gary Hale to the Northwest Community Center Advisory Board, and Mike Munson to the Planning Commission.
Is there any discussion?
The personnel policy updates, is that stuff from the federal government that we just have to keep in line, or state government, state?
Do you have a comment, Marla?
I do. The personnel policy manual that we are updating every single one of them. So you're going to see a lot of policies come through here. Those are because of federal guidelines. They're also, or laws. They're also because of state laws. And then they're also to guide us in how we operate so that we remain consistent throughout all of our personnel activities. And yes, everyone, like you saw on the harassment, discrimination, retaliation, it listed several protected categories, and those are directly taken from federal and state laws.
Does that change every year? So we have to do it every year, or?
No, that should stay consistent unless something were to change, like there were to be a new protected class observed by the federal government or the state government, then we would have to change that. And that's one of my activities, is to make sure that I keep up to date on these things on a regular basis and bring them to you when changes do occur. There have been no changes on these particular policies, except for we decided to update them ourselves for our internal practices and get them in nice, neat order.
In here, it talks about discrimination, harassment, retaliation. It says several things: race, religion, color, sex. But then one of them is genetic information.
That is
correct. Do you know what that even
That
is
act
referring
is
to?
called GINA, the Genetic Information, can't think of what the N stands for, Act. And what it is you cannot discriminate against someone because they have a genetic condition or may have a genetic condition. For example, if you decide you don't want to hire someone because their mother had cancer and you think they might get cancer.
I was thinking, how do we know people's
And
Genetics, but I guess,
it can be just through things like that. There's also some pre-employment testing that can get into genetics, but it's primarily those things that we know about the individual or their family.
okay. I guess that makes sense now. I was wondering what that could even mean.
That's what that is.
I didn't think we were doing genetic testing before you could get
We
a
are
kid.
not.
That's what I figured, probably not.
No.
So how would we end up finding that information out? Just by chance or?
Just by chance, and
Okay.
for us, it could happen very readily due to the fact that we're a small organization and a small community. So we do have that in policy, and of course, as I'm sure you know, we certainly would never discriminate against anyone in any form of employment activity because of genetic information that we might hold or have.
I would hope we wouldn't either.
We would not.
Okay, any other questions?
Well, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Warren and seconded by Commissioner Tweedy to approve the consent agenda as written. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. There's no old business, and moving on to new business.
Consider a resolution authorizing the city of Arkansas City to enter into a contract with JCI to replace the Clearwell backwash pump at the water treatment facility for an amount not to exceed $42,104.
This was handed off to me this afternoon, and I'm a show and tell type person, so I went down to the water treatment plant and took a picture of this. This is the pump here that we're replacing. It's got a new motor on it that was installed by JCI, the one we're recommending the contract be awarded to. It's been, it was installed in 2003, and it pumps chlorinated water up into the filtration system. I'll show you pictures of that in a minute. This is a check valve, backflow valve. But as I said, you can see the rust is leaking, dripping water, and we don't have a redundant system. If it goes down, we have no water, potable water for the city. Go ahead to the next one. We've got 4 bays that have filters in it. It's a last treatment, water process treatment. The water goes through here, and then once a week, each of the 4 bays, water from the pump pumps fresh water in and cleans out the filters. From there, the water goes out to a holding area, a holding tank. So that's what we're replacing.
How old is the pump itself?
Well, it was installed in 2003. I don't know.
I thought you said the motor was, but not the pump.
No, the pump was installed
Okay,
in
the whole thing,
2003. No,
okay.
I'm sorry, the motor was just replaced.
Okay.
We reconditioned the motor we took off, so we do have a redundancy there. If this motor goes out, we have another one.
Okay.
So we went out for bids. The pump is one of the items that was addressed as needing replacement before the new water treatment plant comes on. And as you can see, the condition of it. And we recommend the bid be awarded to JCI. They're the same ones that installed the motor on it. The higher bids, like the Goulds and the Lane, are the Cadillac of pumps, but we don't really need a Cadillac pump right now with the new water treatment plant coming on. Also, JCI has agreed to purchase this pump back, refurbish it, and sell it on behalf of the city.
Oh, when we get the new water plant finished?
Right, once we get the new water plant.
That's good.
So we'll get some money back off of it.
So that pump will continue to be in operation once we get the new plant? Did I understand you right?
Well, the new pump, once we get it installed, it'll be in operation until the new water treatment
Okay.
plant comes on. Then we can turn around and give it back to the vendor to sell on behalf of the city.
Okay.
Did they give us any hope as to value? Or what
No.
percentage it'd use up? No?
No.
That was one of my big questions was,
Uh-huh.
is there a way we can wait 2 years?
No, we could take a chance, but we don't have a backup. If it goes down, the city doesn't have any water.
Sure, and this is the backwash pump?
That's
Yes.
the backwash pump.
How long will it take to replace that? Did they give you an idea?
Do you know, Nick?
No, I did not know.
So we'll have plenty of water.
Oh, yeah, it backwashes these filtration bays wherever they are. Each bay is backwashed and the filter is cleaned once a week.
Okay.
So it's not consistently running, only when it's time to backwash and clean the filters. Turbidity, Rod Philo asked him about it this morning, and turbidity has 4 to 5 turbidity NTUs going in and 0.1 coming out. So it filters all the particles out and then gives you clean water. And then from there it goes into the clear water tank, our drinking water.
So it won't affect our water supply?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. We'll take it down after they clean the 4 filter bays.
Last meeting, we approved a company come in and clean out 5 foot of lime sludge. Does that have anything to do with this?
No,
Okay.
no, that's your primary digester, clarifier where the water comes in. They clean the lime out.
Okay.
It's first you have your chlorinator that comes in that shocks the water, then it goes into the primary clarifier, and that's what they're talking about
Okay.
there. This is towards the end of the process.
Okay.
How long would it take if it were to fail to have them to come in an emergency case to get us back online?
We'd have less than a day. I mean, that's how long we'd have before
Before we need it?
because we use it daily.
I thought it was weekly, he said.
Was
Well,
it weekly? I thought we used it daily.
It's you clean each bay
Once a
once a week, so you're looking
Yeah.
at 4 days
Oh,
really.
okay.
So you might
Once
have
every
one day or.
You might have one day.
Or you might have it's supposed to be going tomorrow or right now. Okay.
Yeah, we may get 2 or 3 days, I think, tops.
Yeah.
If it was a,
So this is a new pump?
This is a new pump. They'll come in, remove the old one, install the new one, and do the setup on it.
Now, if they're willing to give us or refurbish ours, can we check to see if they have any refurbished ones available? Say, cut our cost in half or something?
I don't believe so.
I mean,
But maybe we could buy ours back. No, I don't know.
Oh.
I just,
Well,
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, I mean, it's proved to build a new water plant. So let's try to spend as little as possible. I mean,
That's
I
what I
know
was
that
kind
was
of thinking.
one
In
big
the- in the
criticism is we
original-
don't ever maintain anything, but let's not maintain
In the
something that we're gonna
original,
just demolish.
When Rod Philo got up and mentioned what it would cost, I think
Right.
it was $62,000. This came in at $42,104. So
Sure.
came in less than projected.
That's gonna be my next question, if we could get a refurbished one, if it works.
I don't know if they have a refurbished one. I couldn't tell you. This may be something they actually have
We
to
wait 2 weeks.
manufacture.
Yeah. I'm gonna move, we table it till next week and see if we can get any of those types of things answered. Try and
Okay.
cut down the cost even a little bit.
Okay.
Well,
How serious is this pump? Do you anticipate it failing within the next couple of weeks, or
I don't know.
you don't know?
And I don't know how long lead time
Yeah.
is either on it. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
there, I guess if it were really long, I might not do that, but I don't know. So I will
Yeah.
still make a motion that we bring it
Okay.
back next,
See if we can get a reconditioned pump.
yeah,
2 weeks.
reconditioned or,
Yeah, if we could save some money, you know, I mean, since it's gonna be a
weeks.
short-term thing, since some new water plants, we'd be able to be, you know, it'd be smart to see if they can do one.
yeah.
I mean,
If not, I mean, if
yeah.
it's something we need, I mean, obviously we need it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my,
I agree with you.
Did this company, I mean, are the bids locked in for a certain period of time?
they'll work with us for 2 weeks.
Okay,
I'm not.
okay.
Well, I'll make a motion, we table this item till our next meeting, that we'll look into a maybe refurnish pump.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Warren and seconded by Commissioner Yukovich to table this item to the next meeting, which is May 17th. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next item, item 2.
Consider approval of the federal aid fund exchange master agreement between Kansas Department of Transportation Secretary Michael King and the city of Arkansas City.
Really what this is a housekeeping item. It's something that we can do every year. Basically what it is a federal fund exchange program is we're allotted a certain amount of money every year to be utilized for projects that are approved by the state. I think, how much money do we have in there right now, do you know?
I'm thinking Eric said around 375,000.
That sounds about right. I believe we have about 375,000 banked. What we're looking at doing is utilizing a portion of these funds for the 15th Street Bridge, and then also potentially we could use it for the goodness gracious, the mill and overlay. Yeah, the South Summit Mill and Overlay Project.
Okay.
They just have to be approved by the state of Kansas for utilization.
How long does that take?
Actually, to be honest, once the project is assigned a project number and approved by the state of Kansas, you can get reimbursed almost within a couple weeks to a month at the longest
We already have approval on the South Summit Street project, don't we?
for their project. So yeah, it's already given a project number, so potentially we could utilize those funds, the federal exchange funds for that program.
Would we get any more funds for 15th Street?
The 15th Street Bridge project, not the 15th Street, 15th Street, but the 15th Street Bridge is already approved by the state of Kansas as well to utilize these funds.
Well, I move that we approve, approve the Federal Aid Fund Exchange Master Agreement between Kansas Department of Transportation Secretary Michael King and the City of Arkansas City.
I'll second it. It's been moved by Commissioner Jukovich and seconded by myself to approve the Federal Aid Fund Exchange Master Agreement. Any more discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3.
Consider a resolution authorizing a public meeting of the governing body on May 13th, 2016 for a study session to discuss city advisory boards and reorganization meetings timeline.
One of the items that's been brought up by Mayor Eastman is potentially looking at study sessions once again, and give it a little more thought to the possibility of looking at our advisory boards and potentially reorganizing some of our groups and combining them. I actually was at a conference this past week where we talked about the millennials and how they've changed the face of committees and government when it comes to advisory boards, so on and so forth. So that's an item that we can discuss on the 13th. If the commission feels that it warrants a study session. The other item we talked about, and it's actually later on underneath city manager updates, but we can discuss it now, is strategic planning retreat. One of the things that we've need to be looking at is a budget retreat at some point. Wanting to look at 2 different dates right now, May 13th during the day, or also June 10th. So or June 10th as being possible dates to have a budget retreat. It's going to be big picture type discussion, nothing concrete.
What date's May 13th?
That's Friday. They're both Fridays.
Fridays.
They're both Fridays.
So, first off, on the May 13th meeting, what amount of time are we considering for that?
I'm saying, first thing in the morning until mid-afternoon.
No, not the retreat. May
Oh.
13th, the
For the study
public
session?
meeting, study sessions at noon?
Yes.
Like we were talking, like a lunch,
Noon,
in
yes.
an hour and a half, something
Correct.
like that?
Okay, and the study session, is May 13th too?
We could do either or. I mean, one of the things that we can do the study session for May 13th for this item and do June 10th for the budget retreat, or we could do May 13th for the budget retreat.
For both.
Yeah, we could potentially do
Yeah,
both.
we could do both.
Marathon, May 13th.
Yep. Kind of like we've done in the past, where we just, if the cabin's available, potentially going out there, and
So, will we have all the figures by the 13th of May?
we'll just be talking broad picture. Is
Okay.
really what we'll be doing, kind of giving you an oversight.
I would prefer to
Challenges.
do the budget thing on the 10th of June.
Okay.
I mean, if that's good
No.
with everybody else.
That helps us too. It starts pushing it, but that gives us enough time. We
Do
can
what,
have
Charlie?
do
We'll have the results of the
Budget.
sales tax by then as well, so
Yeah.
we
The-
can have better discussion.
the budget hearing on,
Wait till the
budget
10th.
discussion on
The
the
10th of
10th.
June?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can set up a time later on that one, the budget.
I think we would set it for 9 o'clock, 9 a.m.
Well, okay, we'll do that.
On June the
June
10th?
10th.
Yeah,
And the 13th is noon.
yes.
Yeah.
And we could just amend this resolution to reflect both meetings.
Okay.
And the June 10th budget retreat would be a much longer meeting.
That'd
That's
be probably
correct.
all day.
Right.
That'll be 9 until it's complete. We've done breakfast before in the past, and lunch, and dinner.
Hopefully it won't take that long, but it probably will.
Well, depending on the outcome of the election, it could be a very long meeting.
Yes, it could.
It could be the first of many, too.
Okay, is that okay, agreeable with the rest of you? Okay. I will so move that we authorize a public meeting of the governing body on May 13th, 2016 at 12 for a study session to discuss city advisory boards and reorganization meetings timeline, and also on June 10th, retreat for the budget at 9 a.m.
Second.
It was moved by myself and seconded by Commissioner Tweedy to approve the resolution to have a public meeting on 13th and also budget retreat on the 10th. Any other discussion?
No, the budget retreat, will that have all the staff, all
Yes.
department heads? Okay.
Yeah, department heads will be there, or their representative, if they happen to be out of town.
Any other discussion?
I'm checking
Oh, okay.
June 10th.
I don't have my calendar here, but I think it's open, but I don't have it here.
I guess if it's
Well,
difficult, we'll change it to.
it looks like that June 10th. The first one, the May 13th, is not a problem.
Okay. Well, we can
Well, if
always,
anything changes, we
we can
have
change
another
it,
meeting
can't-
before
can't
then,
we?
so 2 meetings
Two
before
meetings.
then,
Meeting.
Sure.
so we have
Okay.
time.
all right, then all in favor of, the resolution having 2 public meetings, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 4th item on the agenda was what I want to present to the commission and of our, I'll just read it because there's quite a bit to it. A resolution expressing support for the imposition of citywide retailer sales tax to benefit South Central Kansas Medical Center, to be submitted to the electors of the city of Arkansas City, Kansas, in a special question submitted election on May 4th. And whereas a governing body hereby deems it advisable to provide for the imposition of a special purpose 1% citywide retailer sales tax, proceeds of which are pledged for payment of debt service of the South Central Kansas Medical Center, to be submitted to electors by mail-in ballot on or after May 4th, 2016. And as members of the governing body have stated on several occasions that in order to pay the debt service of South Central Kansas Medical Center, it is necessary and advisable pursuant to authority of the Act to institute the SCKMC sales tax, the failure of which could lead to increased property taxes and or reduced city services to citizens. Now therefore, in consideration of the aforestated premises, be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Arkansas City, Kansas, to hereby urge all citizens of the city of Arkansas City to vote yes to this South Central Kansas Medical Center sales tax. The governing body furthermore urges all citizens to return their mail-in ballots in a prompt manner in order to ensure an accurate and timely count of all the votes by the Cali County Clerk's Office. The governing body of the City of Arkansas City expresses continued support for the efforts of Chief Executive Officer Virgil Watson Jr. and the administration of South Central Kansas Medical Center, as well as the South Central Kansas Medical Center Board of Trustees, to improve the medical center's financial position and better position it to be a leading and sustainable rural health care facility for years to come. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the City Commission of the City of Arkansas City.
Mayor, I move we adopt the resolution expressing support for the imposition of a citywide sales tax to benefit South Central Kansas Medical Center to be submitted to the electors of the City of Arkansas City, and a special question submitted on election on May 4th, 2016.
I'll second that. And the deadline on that is what, May the 24th?
24th.
24th when the council
Gotta be
votes.
in.
Yeah.
So,
And they could, did I read right that they can still register today? I mean, well, maybe too late now.
Today, I believe, is the
I
last
think,
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
I read that too. So,
It's probably closed now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's-
yeah,
Well,
okay.
I think just as a commission, we should express our support. You know, we did vote to put it on the ballot, but this is saying we support it, and we think it's probably the best way. At least, this is what I'm voting for when I vote. I think it's probably the best way for us to dig out of the hole. And I've had people tell me, you know, different things, what they think ought to happen to the hospital, but no matter what happens to the hospital, we're gonna need some money to pay for the debt.
We're gonna need the money.
And I think this is the best way, the fairest way to do that, and in my mind, if we're talking to citizens of Arkansas City only, this will help us to bring some money from the surrounding areas too, to help pay for the hospital that we all use.
Well, a lot of the patients are from the surrounding area too.
They are.
So-
We all use it, and it's important, and well,
If we didn't have it, we'd be in very difficult circumstances,
and
so
it's nice to have doctors right here in town.
it is.
Yes, it is.
And the furthering disadvantages of no hospital, we would see it very soon, I believe.
Well, with our businesses and
Yes,
so forth.
businesses and schools, teachers and everything. So, okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Tweedy and seconded by Commissioner Warren to approve resolution supporting the 1 cent sales tax question to the City of Arkansas City. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nick, on the 24th, will she do a ballot count, or will they be able to use?
She'll have a preliminary count, but
Okay.
on 24th, but it doesn't finalize until June 3rd.
Till the county
Second.
commission meets? But will they do that at the county offices? Will she run it through the machines or physically hand count them?
I cannot tell you.
Okay. Do you know?
I don't know.
We can call. Okay. City manager updates.
I only have a couple here. As you may have read in the newspaper today, Ark City Convention and Visitors Bureau is having discussion with the Chamber of Commerce in regards to their function and form. As I learn more, I will share more. So as of right now, we're just kind of waiting to see what comes of it. As you may know, and for the citizens, the Ark City Commission actually appoints the members of the chamber or the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and is funded through the hotel tax. And so, therefore, we have an agreement right now with the Chamber of Commerce to provide management and oversight of the CVB function. So, if there's changes to be made, then they'll be made at a future time. But as of right now, I have not heard anything from them formally. Just what I read in the paper and hear secondhand. So, when we learn more, I will share more.
Well, those both entities have separate boards anyway, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They both have separate boards already.
How long has that been?
Forever.
Since the implementation of the bed tax.
Yeah, when I was on commission in '84, that's the way the
Yeah.
chamber administered it.
And it's evolved over time,
Yeah.
and the amount of revenue we receive or the board receives from the hotel tax is increasing. So we'll see what happens. Union Pacific property acquisition, something that we are going to have to undertake in regards to the waste line for the water treatment plant. something we've talked about for some time. We actually have a price from Union Pacific of $30,000 for how many acres roughly? It's basically from here past Canpack, for all the property that Union Pacific owns.
And where the old depot set
Yep.
that they tore down after the fire.
It kind of follows along that canal.
It follows the canal, that's
Yeah.
correct. And it actually kind of serve a dual purpose. We kind of need that property anyway to continue the hike bike trail and to kind of serve as a link in between Cali College and the Travis Hafner Sports Complex down to the south. So eventually, we're going to look at a hike bike trail through that area to connect. So we have one major loop, but also it'll service the waistline, which we need to be getting underway here as far as design fairly quickly. So something we've been working on for 3 years now. So it's something we're just ready to move forward with.
Is there a time on when that has to be done?
We
Acquisition?
need to acquire the property sooner than later. Union Pacific could potentially take a little time to get all of its agreements signed and executed. But we have tentatively have a price from them and an agreement to move forward.
Do we need to make something tonight, or do we want to wait till our next?
We can wait till the next meeting.
Okay.
We're fine as far as time
Okay.
goes on there.
All right.
But I wanted to bring it up just as an informational item and let you know it will be coming.
So that was their price?
That was, we've tried to
We tried to
negotiate.
negotiate.
That's why it's
and
taken
tried
so
and
long.
tried and tried.
That's why it's taken so long.
Seems a little high.
Yeah, we.
For vacant land, I mean, what can they ever do with that? Get 30,000 out of the city.
They're not gonna
That's
put
what-
another
I
railroad
know,
in, I
no,
guarantee.
or another depot. Oh,
Especially
sure.
since probably the federal
But
government
it-
gave it to them in the beginning.
But it
Yeah.
puts us in a bind for that, for our wastewater.
Waistline, yes.
I mean, that's the route we have to
That's
take.
that's the most
we have to
direct
buy it.
route.
We have to buy it.
Yeah, and we need it for the hike bike trail
Yeah.
for the extension because it's naturally that's going to be the route we want to take because we want to enhance that area. We already mow and maintain it,
And we
need to
have for
charge
many
them.
and we
years.
have for a long time.
Need
to charge them for
Well,
mowing it.
Well, we didn't. We've talked
We
about that.
looked at that.
Send them a bill
as
for
well.
30,000.
That's
Back-
actually
back
kind of-
mowing
In
fees.
fact, we did.
Yeah,
Did they pay it?
No.
yeah, we
Okay.
did send them a bill for 30,000. So
Now,
actually,
No,
it was excess of 30,000.
We've
got
been
it.
trying to
I'm just,
Okay.
whittle away that price, but
Yeah,
Where would that money come from? Will it come from?
it with the water fund. I mean, it'd just be part of the. It'd be a reimbursable expense too, as far as as goes, because.
Are you anticipating pursuing grants to expand the hike bike trail?
We are. That's something.
Can we include some of that land purchase in that grant?
Probably not. I don't know if we could do it after the fact. We're gonna have to purchase property before we can
Okay.
do the extension. But we are in talks, and we've had just preliminary discussion with Cali College and looking at partnering
Okay.
on the extension because they do need it, and we would like to have it. And there are grants available, but we just want to get further in the process because they're matching grants. So we want to have
Okay.
more discussion with the college and kind of see what we come up with.
But we can't throw the price of this land into that then.
We could
eventually.
we could probably potentially show it as a cost match or a cost sharing because we did already identify that area.
Okay. Well,
So,
that'd be one
so
way to
that'll
get
be
the money
help.
back.
That'll definitely
For
be
some
helpful.
of it back.
well, and we did look at that too in the Rails to Trails program.
Yeah.
We did explore the possibility, but it just didn't look like it was going to work on the timeline we needed.
Okay. Anything else?
You
Anything
know
else from
that-
the commissioners?
That's it.
Might note that Kansas Sampler Fest is going on in Winfield
Yeah.
this weekend, and Commissioner Warren's gonna be up there selling his wine. So,
His award-winning
his
wine.
award-winning one,
Award-winning.
yes.
If you haven't looked at the booklet is out, and I went through it, and I thought, my gosh, all that stuff that's going on. You know, food, vendors, demonstrations, music, yeah, everything. I didn't know it was that extensive, so.
And keep far back in your mind, June 3rd is going to be Prairie Fest
Yeah.
down at the Rotunda. It's going to be great this year. It was great last year, but it's going to be a great time, and would love to see everyone support it. It's a good program, and
There's what, 400 or 500 people there last year?
There was, it was great.
I would
Good.
assume
Good
that
time.
last year, that this year, if the weather's decent, there's probably gonna be a lot more than that.
Yeah,
So you
'cause
better
last
get
year was
there
the
early and
first
get a
year
seat,
they
'cause it's
came
gonna be
back.
packed.
Yes.
Yeah. So, pass the word around, everybody you know about Prairie Fest and Kansas Sampler. So if not,
Move we adjourn.
Second.
it's been
You beat
moved
me. You beat me.
Commissioner Tweedy and seconded by Commissioner Yukovich. To adjourn, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
In less than an hour.